As trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Well, we have a pretty shitty market this morning. I could be wrong, but pretty small overnight range. It's pivoting. I guess that's not too bad. But I don't know, not a lot of movement. We do have news in 15 minutes. We could maybe try trading. Well, not trading, but we could take a look at a couple of other things today. E-mini continues to do good. I mean, they did good yesterday. And they're doing good in the overnight session. And where's our Bitcoins? Is our Bitcoins doing okay? So they did take a big jump up. They were really fighting it out yesterday evening. Looks like they finally took a dive and recovered. I have to, well, so that little dive there might have been the one that I saw, because this one is just by volume. No, I don't want 6 hour. No, I want 30-minute notes. Yes, it was. So there was kind of this dip here, and then went right back up. And there was this thing too. I was really noticing this. So they were battling it out. But they did hold it. So that's good for now. For now. Don't think that Bitcoin is going to last very long. Oh yes, and then today I'm not going to be staying too long. So we have a conference, Open West conference. So I'm going to be leaving probably at the top of the hour. $115. Why $115? Well, what was happening there? I think there's a really good chance of 0.95. 115. You could see why that price would be hard for them. Probably don't want to be getting involved at that price. Okay, so there's that. What is today? Oh, it's just unemployment. Okay. There's a couple of bad Buffett says economy is feeling strong. If we're in the 6th inning, we have our sluggers come to bat. Yep. I like that analogy. Jamie Dimon says Trump should be careful what he wishes for and push for one-on-one trade deals. Okay, they did strike a deal with ZTE. More Americans are crediting Trump for the stronger economy, but that isn't helping the GOP with voters. That's an interesting one. Of course, nobody sold on tariffs. Except for maybe the market. There was a lot of really bad tariff headlines yesterday, and the market pretty much shrugged it off. Okay, well, there's one order at 050. That's kind of the spot that I'm looking at. But, no, it's really close to the news. Let's just kind of watch it develop here. Okay, well, at the moment, there seems to be some real demand for sellers to sell through it in the 5-year. I don't think that the 5-year, or sorry, that the 10-year really wanted to breach 05, but they did take it reluctantly. And you can see they traded through it there. So I want to see if we get something. There is a lot of iceberging there, right? But I mean, it's a little risky here because you got 4 on this side and 4 on this side, really. And I mean, I kind of think that they want to push the lows, so I want to be careful here. This 5-year could just could just push us out of bed real quick. Hmm. You're gonna be 7K on this other side now too? So because there's icebergs on both sides of that, I want to avoid that area. Might actually be a really good sign for higher. But it's hard to say because it's so easy for them to just tick back into it and start trading big volume again. Well, 28.72 have taken it, so I think 4 minutes. It's a tough one. I really want to buy it there, but I think I better hold off. Okay. Okay, so it's weak at 050, but they're not hitting it. Okay, after all that, they traded 7K there and now only 8? It's super bizarre. I'm not so sure that you would get a fill at 050, but based on what's happening right now, really feeling like buying 055. Jobless claims coming up. Alice Johnson did get pardoned. Well, that's interesting. By the way, what's the number that we're looking for? We're looking for 223. 223. I'm not really seeing polling based on the news. They should be polling by now. Okay, now I'm seeing some polling. Equal amount of buying and selling here now. Okay. 222. Oh, wait. Okay. So it was roughly in line with expectations. The ZF is on its low, by the way. Probably should have pointed that out much earlier. Okay. Thickened up there at 050. But they're not taking the 055. Sure is tempting to click here. I'm a little wary though because there's 27.58 traded on the offer. Okay. That 04 got weak too quickly. I think my chances of getting filled here are sketchy. Okay. I don't feel like it's giving us a very good spot to take a trade, but it's what we have. It did fill us, so that's not necessarily good. We really need to get a good uptick here. Well, 11. 6, okay, that's a little better. And that the 5-year definitely had a good uptick. Oh, and the 30, I like what I'm seeing in the 30. Yeah. It's a little tough. So the thing I don't like about my price is that I'm the most balanced price at the moment is 05 half. Right? Balanced price is always the easiest place to get filled at. But for some strange reason today, the balanced price is just below the profile here at 06. So I'm thinking the one of two things is going to happen. Either one, we're going to take it up, that 06 is going to pull, and we're going to come up. And I think that could happen soon. So I think it's either going to be that, or I think that a lot more is going to trade at that 05 half, and that is then going to become the highest point in the profile. Or it would actually could actually become the point of control. And then it wouldn't look like such a good trade, would it? So that's kind of the problem with the volume profile. The balanced price is very likely to become a point of control or a volume node. Okay, well, I like that it's stacking. There we go. Okay, so they just stopped it right there. Pretty big divergence. Yeah, well, I mean, what might happen is they might touch the 09 half and then that's it, and then they go back down. But you notice they really like to go and test the previous day's point of control. There was a little bit of volume traded there in the overnight. They're not really hitting the 06, so I'm not feeling the need to bail yet. We're gonna get some resistance here between 12 and 16 though in ZB, aren't we? Yeah, 16. Yeah, there was a flush down there. Here in the 5-year. 5-year really looks like the one that's driving it too, by the way. Oh, my spread indicator's not working today again. Okay. Well, I don't like that they hit the 06, but it did hold. Okay. Iceberg. Yeah, it's starting to look like bubble up, doesn't it? I was thinking there as it was going, like, probably going to trade down. Maybe I should sell it and then try and buying it again at 0.55. I guess not. Only 16 went through. You micromanage it too much and end up taking yourself out of it. Well, if it is a bubble up move, then you're definitely right. If it's a bubble up move, then the right thing to do is to just we caught our spot and we have a ticker profit, and to just keep it until we get some sort of rush up, till it stops bubbling essentially. Now, on the other hand, this is not exactly turning into a strong move. At this point, I'm going to say we don't have any real trend developing in treasuries. And so we are at very high risk of the correlations taking control. And that could swing it just about anywhere. Should add that we're seeing the buying in the 5-year, but not really the delta in the 30 and the 10. I should roll over my E-mini contract, but I should have done that earlier. Roll over. Roll over. Okay. There we go. Well, who knows what the E-mini is going to do on the open. I'm wondering, are there any tendencies for the E-mini to do certain something on a new contract? Where is the ES? There it is. There we go. Okay. Oh, hey. That was an okay uptick. That pull, there was like 3,000 there, wasn't there? It seems like they want to keep it up there, though. Oh, why did I put this LLL here? Something big happened there before. A long time ago, and I don't remember what it was. Some like huge volume traded there or something. Interesting then that ends up being the highest volume area. Okay. I kind of feel like, contrary to the discussion we were having a couple of days ago about only if you trade into it, like I feel like in this slow action that any contracts went through at '07 is like okay. You know what I mean? Because it's going to take back and forth here a couple of times anyways. They traded 18. If they come back up and touched again, they're probably going to trade like 50. Now, it's not good, though, that when we ticked down and they plopped 36 on it again. almost wonder though if that's not a lure. Yeah, because it pulled. It's a lure. They're trying to get people to fill the mid 06 and they're not giving it to them. Okay. Well, 28 eventually did end up trading. Okay, and there's 10. I think that we should get at least 50. Yeah. Okay, that time only 1,000 traded to push it up. I don't know. I feel like it's a really hard to read much into each tick back and forth as it trades volume between a couple of prices. If the 30-year squeezes higher here to plus 14, you'll get your 07.5. Yeah. Well, the 30-year, it really has not moved a whole lot through all of this, has it? And it looks just from the chart. I tried not to look at the chart too much, but just when you look at the chart, there was a pretty quick move here, and that kind of makes it like a single print. So there's going to be some resistance up here at 16. And they're going to resist us moving back up to it. Although it's definitely going to be a target for some people. So, like, I feel like you guys have been right, but I feel like the only reason I've been this patient on it is that I know that just based on past experience that if they trade 07, they almost always trade 07.5. There how do I put this? The way that we read the DOM is different from how other players are going to read it, right? Because when we read it, we kind of see it as like, okay, if I get long at 060, there's a really good chance that it's just going to rotate around that, and I'm not going to get very many ticks, and the reward isn't very good there. There's going to be a lot of people battling in there, so my reads aren't going to be very good, and so this might not necessarily be a good place to trade, right? But a big institution who already knows what they're going to do, and they want to buy it here, whatever, that's where they want it. Where all of the volume is going through, that's the place that they can get in. And so they're going to get in here if they get past the VWAP, because that's what they want to do, is they want to buy below the VWAP and then potentially get range extension and like test. Really would want to try and extend the range past 10.5, really, is where I would put it at. Okay. So they're going to try and test the upside now. They're going to try and test if they can get a buying trend going. So at the very least, they're going to clear 07.5. Now, I think in this particular case, because there's the point of control here, there's actually a really good chance that they go from 07 to 09.5 too. Okay, so there was some stops that time. They ticked back down. So I think I'm doing the right thing here. I'm honestly thinking about taking it off at 07 because there was stops. let's just kind of see. Okay, so the 5-year took a big jump up there, and that's why that happened. It looks like the 5-year could still go a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna hold it. Okay. All right, so that was not necessarily good test, but they weren't able to hold it. 5-year did tick up. Okay, now they're able to hold it. Oh, okay, so a little bit of a pull there. That does lead me to believe that they might go through us, but I'm still going to take the +4. Because that was the trade. Good deal. Very nice. But the way that they took it does look like it's going to keep going, doesn't it? Yeah. There was a single print at 14. How was that a single print? Was that like a single print several days back or something? Interesting that if I had not had my limit order there, I would still be looking to get filled at 07.5. So there's another interesting thing that I'm doing here that I think we should point out. Well, that was a pretty good uptick, wasn't it? This was my attempt at a range-bound trade, right? I bought below the VWAP, which I tend to prefer not to do. I was looking for a move to the downside to fail, so I was fading a move, and then, I took 5 on it. Sorry, I took 4 on it. But can you see how I'm talking myself out of that there's going to be continuation here, right? Because this is a stopping point. And here's a spot where we're either going to turn around or we're going to continue through. And I'm trying to talk myself out of, I think it's going to continue, but I still need to take the profit. So this this thing I have where I always want it to continue is still, I'm still doing it, even though I didn't act on it at all. Well, I don't think you would have gotten filled at 8 yet. We could have gotten back in at 07.5. Yep, there it is. And 42.25. Oops, that was the wrong. Delete. Deleted.
Block cell.
Ooh. Ooh. This right here. Okay. Where was the block cell at? 08. Hmm. I'm actually thinking about taking 08 half to 09 half. Tucker go short at 08 half, huh? Well, if they tick down there past the 08 and they put a good offer up, then it would be really good. Oh my, okay. So that's interesting. So the buyers are definitely trying to pressure them here. What spots got here? Unfinished auctions, resting offers. Unfinished auctions, resting bids. Oh, right. They're putting up 5, and here's ZF. They're trying to pressure. I think they want the 5-year to go into an uptrend. Also, it came off there when there was an iceberg in ZF. Interesting. Hmm. So I don't know if the buyers or sellers are going to win, but whichever side wins is probably going to get 4 ticks out of this. Okay, so there was a downtick. Pretty good downtick. Hmm. Yeah, you still had. I wouldn't feel ashamed there. You still had a good trade. Okay, sure. So you took it because of the strong bid? Oh, did it do that the first time? I have to watch that again. I didn't realize that it'd come up, they sold it, it pulled, and then you would have gotten filled. Hmm. Okay, so you could have gotten the 4 on it. From '08. I don't know if that makes sense. I think that when you get a 5K bid like that on the inside and they trade right through it, I don't think that's necessarily a lure because if you're putting a 5K bid on there and you're trying to get filled, sorry, it was at 0.5, right? If I have 5K there and I'm looking to get filled at 0.90, if they trade through that 0.90, oh, they are going to trade through it, and then you're fucked, right? Because now you've sold there, and they're just going to push right through you, and they could go right up to the highs. So I'm not convinced that that's a lure. I think that the buyers really wanted it at 0.5, and somebody was actively trying to put pressure on, which is why when they traded through it, it's still filled. But then as soon as they trade through it, the sellers are like, oh, we can push against these guys now. So now they have some people trapped, and so they immediately start ticking down ticks to trap them. That's what I think happens. So that's why it's kind of like, if you see the big bid and you don't see orders going through, then when they trade down through here, I think you could take the next price. I think that would be a little bit lower risk way to play it. But if you could have gotten filled at 0.5, then I guess you could have gotten filled at 0.5. Anyways, I have to go drive the kids now, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Pretty good, you know, our test trade was good, and I kind of saw one that I thought might develop into a short, but I wasn't really sure, so I stayed out. So overall, I'd say it's pretty good.